Hello everyone and welcome to Learning Illustrator Day 7. Let's see what all we learned in Day 6 first. In Day 6, we learned about grouping and ungrouping objects, and then we learned about locking and hiding those objects. After that, we learned about layers and how can you use them in real life project. Now, some of you might still be confused how can we use them, or you might be confused about the implementation of the layers. So don't worry, we are actually going to create an example which will cover all these concepts in our future videos. Right now, we cannot create that example because we haven't learned much of the tools. So once we have a good command over the tools, then we are going to create that example and we will be covering all the concepts we have learned so far. Now let's see what all we are going to learn in day 7. So today we are going to learn about various drawing shape tools. So these are all the tools we are going to cover. So without wasting any time, let's quickly jump into Illustrator. So I have my Illustrator opened here already and I'm going to create a new file and these are the predefined settings. I'm okay with this and press OK. Alright, so here we have our artboard and our canvas. Now let's see what is line segment tool. So you can go to your toolbar and there is your line segment tool. The shortcut key for this is backward slash. So either you can press backward slash on your keyboard or you can go and select the tool from here. Now to select this tool, there are two ways. You can either click directly on the toolbar or if you get some more tool options, you can click and hold and release your mouse again. And then you get this window. So from this window, you get some further tools which are available under this tool. So you can select any of them you want now. So I'm going to select line tool as of now and click over here. Now the usage of line tool is very simple. All you are going to do is click and drag on your artboard or on your canvas and you will get your lines. So it's really simple. Like I said, just click and drag to create multiple lines. But what is actually line? So a line is a connection between 2 points. So if I have like 2 points here, just a minute, let me select the brush. Okay. So like I have 2 points in here. So if you need a line, you are going to connect these 2 points and what you get is a line. Now, this is not a line actually, but it should be straight. So let's see. Yeah. So it's as simple as that. A line is a connection between 2 points. And the same thing applies in Illustrator also. When you create a line in Illustrator, you get these 2 points at the end. These are called the anchor points. And this is the connection between these 2 points. So this is called the line. Now you can actually create so many shapes and so many artwork using line segment tool itself. Like if you want to draw a star, all you can do is create a line first and from the anchor point of one line, draw another line. And then you can keep repeating this process until you have a star-like shape with you. And there. Now it is not perfectly symmetric star and you can still use some few tricks to create it symmetric. We will see how we can do that in future. But as of now, just know that you can actually create shapes and you can actually start drawing just by line tool itself. Now we get some option keys with every tool, every shape tool. So what option key does is it gives you extra level of control while drawing the shape. So the option keys we have with line segment tool is Alt and Shift key. So let's see how we are going to use this option keys. While drawing the line, you can hold the Shift key. So just notice when I hold the Shift key, what happens. So right now I am not holding the Shift key. Now I hold it the Shift key and you can see that my line immediately got snapped to a horizontal axis. When I release it, it gets back again to my mouse cursor. Now, if I am closer to the vertical axis and I hold shift, then it automatically snaps to the vertical axis. Now I can still draw and it will be a vertical line. If I am somewhere between the horizontal and vertical axis, then it will automatically snap my line to a 45-degree angle. Now I can hold the shift key and move my mouse around to get the line I wanted. But note that this time it will only either be a horizontal line, vertical line, or a line in between those two axes perfectly at a 45-degree angle. When I'm satisfied that this is the line I wanted, I can release my mouse click first and then the shift key to get the line I want. So with that learned, let's create a square using this technique. So what I'm going to do is click and drag and hold the shift key to get the line at 45-degree angle. And again from this anchor point, I'm going to create another line. I'm holding the shift key and there I have my line. I think this is fine. Now note that have your smart guides on while doing this because it will automatically snap your starting point to the anchor point of a previous line. Again, I'm repeating the process and there I'm going to release my mouse. And again, the same thing, hold the shift key and get a line and it's pretty close. I almost got the square and yeah, so if only this line is smaller, then I don't have extra segment here. But yeah, that's how you can use the shift key. Now let's see the another key, which is Alt key. So how Alt key works, let's see it now. So this is the normal way I create my lines. I just click and drag and the first anchor point is fixed and now I'm positioning the second anchor point, where to put that. But when I press the Alt key, what it does is it shifts my center of the line. Right now I'm holding the Alt key and it has shifted the center of my line and now I'm moving both anchor points together. So now let's say this is the line I wanted and there I can release it. So it is as simple as that. Start drawing the lines and press Alt key in between to shift your center and release your mouse first and release the Alt key to get the line you want. Now these are the two option keys we get with line segment tool, the shift key and the Alt key. You can use one of them at a time or you can use both of them together. So let's see how we can use both of them together. This time what I am doing is I am creating a line. I press the Alt key to shift the center of this line and at the same time I am pressing the shift key to get a perfectly inclined line. And like let's say this is the line which I want and okay. So there we go. We have our line ready. If you want to create a circle, just start creating lines like our previous technique. Keep drawing lines one after another and make these line segments really small and keep repeating this process until you reach the first point of the circle from where we started. Now this is not a perfect circle and there will be some ways where you can modify it and create a circle or you can just use the ellipse tool to get a circle. But this is just a demo of showing that we can actually create anything using line segment tool itself. Okay, so now that you have learned line segment tool, what we are going to do now is create an example out of it. And we will see whether can we create something just by using one single tool. Generally, it is a concept that you learn everything, you learn the whole software and then you start designing. This example will show you that you don't need to learn whole Illustrator to start designing. You can actually start designing just by learning one single tool. So let's see what we are going to design. So I am planning to create a background for a website or a general background. You can use it anywhere. And I'm thinking to use this kind of style. So where this line passes each other and they makes an arc. So let's see how we can do that. But we won't be using the exact same example. We will be modifying it a bit. All right. So to create that, first of all, open a new file and you can decide your resolution and all the settings you can change as per your wish. So I'm keeping it 1920 by 1080 and click OK. All right. Now what I need is to turn on the grid. So I go to view and click on show grid and then I need snap to grid. So I will turn it on. All right. Now I need a perfect square. So what I'm going to do is select a rectangle tool and while drawing the rectangle, I will hold shift. Okay, so there we have our rectangle. Now what I will do is go to view, guides and make guides. So now this rectangle is being converted to guides and I will log this guide now. Guides and log guides. Okay, so log guides is already checked on. So that I don't move it so that I don't move it accidentally. Okay, so we have our setup ready. Now what we'll do is select the line tool and start making lines from this point to this point. Okay, so for the second line we will start from this point and end at the second grid, and we'll keep repeating this process for entire one section. So this might take a long, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fast it forward so that it won't take much of your time. So now even we haven't finished it, but still you can see we are getting a very nice design over here. So we'll keep drawing like this. So it might happen that your grid is not as same as mine. So to change your grid settings, what you can do is press Ctrl K to go to preferences, and from there you can jump to guides and grids. From here you can change the grid setting, say grid every 100 pixel and subdivisions 5. So that will make your grid look exactly the same I have. So I press OK here and let's continue with our design. Okay, so there I have one of my segment ready and you can see that how nicely it has come up. So all the lines has passed each other and this arc has been made and it has come out really beautiful. So now what you can do is you can keep repeating the process for like we have done this process for this and this segment. So what next we have to do is repeat the same process for this and this segment, this and finally this and this. So I'll draw it for you. So right now we have covered this segment. What next has to be done is cover this one. So you start drawing lines from here and go all the way to this one and then do the same process for this segment. So start drawing from here and go up all the way to the top right, top left, and again for this one from where you will start from here and go all the way to the right. All right, so the other way we can do is instead of drawing so many lines, we can go to our selection tool. We can select our selection tool and select all these lines. And what we can do is make a group out of it. So press Ctrl G on your keyboard to make a group of this one. And now we have this thing in a single group. Okay. So now what we can do is press Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl Shift V to paste at the same place. Now if you move this, you can see that we have our copy created. Okay, let's undo and let's rotate this new pasted object. Let's rotate this new pasted group. So go to any of the corners and move your mouse slightly outward until you see this rounded or rotate icon or rotate cursor. When your cursor switch to this rotate icon, then you can just click and drag your mouse to rotate your group. All right. So I'm pressing shift along with rotation so that it snaps exactly at a 90-degree angle while rotating. So this looks really good, and I release the mouse click and then the shift key. Okay, so that makes our work a lot easier than in drawing all the lines instead. So yeah, now we have two groups, and what we can do is select these two groups and Control C, again Control Shift V to copy at the same place, and again rotate them for 180 degree. Alright, so again press shift key so that it snaps to 180 degree angle, and there we go. So here we have our design ready, and right now it doesn't look very impressive. Let me turn off the grid. So we'll uncheck snap to grid and we will hide the grid. So right now it doesn't look very impressive. I mean it looks good, but it doesn't give a feel of a background. I won't be able to, or I don't want to use it as a background because there's too much of information that might distract the audience. Okay, so next what we are going to do is use some transformation tools that you are going to learn in future. So right now you can just avoid it and just see that how I'm doing it, but don't focus on learning it. We will cover it in future. So let's just delete all the guides first, what all we have created. So I click on clear guides, select all of this and scale it a bit to the size of our canvas or the artboard. Okay, and press Ctrl 0 again. All right, so what I'm going to do is select all of this and press Ctrl G to group them, and now I'm going to transform and transform each. Now all the settings we will learn in future. Now I'm just doing it to show you how we can do it actually. So the angle is 15, and let's see if we reduce scale to 85, both horizontal and vertical, and make a copy. Let's see the preview. Okay, preview looks good. So let's just copy this one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is press Ctrl D again and again to duplicate this transformation. Okay. And now select all of them by pressing Ctrl A on your keyboard, or you can use your selection tool and drag around this whole design to select all of them. So I am using Ctrl A to select all of them, and now go to this outline color and select a light gray kind of color so that it doesn't look too dark. All right, now we can shift it a bit here. Now this is all a presentation part, and I'll just undo it right now. And we will use our artboard tool and scale our artboard instead. This, and from here this much. Okay, now these two bits we have to do something for that. So what we can do is press Ctrl A to select all of them, scale them a bit, scale this design a bit, and create a rectangle over here. You can press Ctrl U to turn on smart guides, and let's draw a rectangle and one more rectangle over here. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim one rectangle out of another, and again this will learn in future, so you can avoid this right now. Window and Pathfinder. Alright, so just subtract it and have a black color inside this. I'll actually reduce this border a bit. It's very thick right now, so this much I think is fine. Again select the whole design and just it was it wasn't proper. Okay. Okay. So now select this whole design, shift select this border to deselect it and press Ctrl G to make a group of this whole design. Okay. And now we can scale it up a bit to fit it exactly behind our border. And there we go. So there we have our design ready just by using one single tool, that is line segment tool. Now, yes, we have used few other options or few other features of Illustrator like the transformation and the pathfinder, but the main intention of this example was the main design, the core design, what you are going to create. You can create by just using one single tool. You don't need to learn all the tools or all the shape tools to create something. So you can actually get started just after this and keep experimenting by just line segment tool, what all you can actually draw in Illustrator. Alright, so I think this example is clear to all of you. Now let's see what other tools we are going to learn today. File, new, and I'm going to create one new file and press OK. So after learning line segment tool, let's see the functionality of arc tool. To select the arc tool, you can go to your toolbar, click and hold on line segment tool and release your mouse and then select the arc tool. Now if you are using this too much, you can actually undock this window from here. Just click on this bar or a vertical bar which has this small right arrow. If you click on it, it will undock this bar for you. So you can select your tools from here without holding your left click over here and selecting the tools. So it depends on you whichever way you want to work. Again, you can just click on this and dock it anywhere you want. Alright, so I'm going to select the arc tool right now. And how can we use it? It's really simple. Just left click and drag your mouse on your canvas to draw the arc and release your mouse to finish your arc. Okay, so again, you can try and experimenting doing something with this tool also. See if you can make an entirely full design just by using arc tool and line tool now. So, okay. So with that, let's see what all option keys do we have with the arc tool. There are two option keys we get with arc tool. First is shift key and the second one is alt key. Okay. So while drawing the arc, if I hold shift key, then you can see my arc is being converted to a perfect circle or a perfect circular arc. So you cannot change the shape of the arc now. You can just change the size now. So while holding the shift, if you do this, you can only change the size. But when you release the shift, you can see I can actually change the shape of the whole arc. Okay, so it depends on to you. If you want a perfect circular arc, you can hold the shift and release your mouse and release your shift key to create the arc. Okay, let's see how alt key works. So while drawing the arc, when you press alt key, so again it shifts your center to your starting point. So from where you started drawing the arc, it shifts the center of your arc to that place. So like in here, the center of this arc would be somewhere around here. So what it does while drawing the arc, it shifts the center to this point from where you started drawing, and your arc scales from both the ends or expands from both the ends. Alright, so I think that's clear to you. So again, we can hold Alt and Shift both keys together to make a perfect circular arc that is expanding from both the ends. And when you are like, when you feel like this design is okay or this arc is okay, so release your mouse and release your Shift and Alt key to create the arc. Okay, so after learning the arc tool, what we can do is look into the spiral tool. So again, for selecting the spiral tool, left click and hold. And when you have this window open, just left click on spiral tool to select the tool. Alright, so again, to draw spiral tool, you can just left click and drag to create a spiral. And like you can see, you can rotate around and make any shape you want. And when you feel like this design is okay or the spiral is okay, so you can release your mouse to create the spiral. The other thing you can do is double click on the canvas to bring up the options for the spiral. So here you can define the radius and you can define the decay and total number of segments and the style, whether you want it anti-clockwise or in clockwise direction. So let us explore these options. I'm going to delete this existing spiral right now. Actually, this double click functionality work with all the tools. So like for the line segment tool, if you double click, it gives you a length. So you can define a length, let's say it's 10 pixels, and you can decide the angle. So let's say the angle is 45 degree, or let's say it's 30 degree, and press OK. So you actually get a 10 pixel line which is inclined at 30 degree. The line is really small actually because we only made it for 10 pixels. So if you make it for like 100 pixels, you will be able to see the change. Okay, so the angle was this time 0 degrees, so we get a perfectly straight line. The same thing applies to the arc tool. When you double click and it defines the point from where it will start, and then you can define the length of the x-axis and the y-axis, and you can decide the reference point from where you want to start from. So and define the pixels as 100 pixels and 150 pixels for y-axis. Type open or close. Now you would have noticed when you create the arc, you get open arc. There was no fill in it. But when you make it close, so you will see what change do we get. Okay. And base, I will keep it as x-axis. That's no problem. And slope is 50. And now when you click on fill arc, it will fill the arc. Otherwise, it will just leave it empty. So let's click OK right now. And there you have your arc created, and this time you can see it's a filled arc. Otherwise, if we draw arc something like this, okay, so one more thing to note, that when you make changes in your tool or when you make some changes in your shape, so the next time you are going to draw the same shape, all those changes will be reflected back. So like all the changes I have made last time, I am seeing all these changes again. So this is actually, this can be a plus point or this can be a negative thing for you, because if you want to reset the tool, then again you have to go and reset manually. Otherwise, if you want to draw same kind of shapes again and again, that it is an advantage, because you don't have to change settings every time. So from here I am just double clicking on the canvas or the artboard and make it a open one and click OK. Alright. So now I will get the open arc. So when I draw this arc now, this is how I get the open arc, and this one is the closed one. So I think the difference is clear. Now let's see how fill arc works So double click on the canvas and let's say this one should be, length should be 200 pixels and y-axis should be 50 pixels. Okay, and fill the arc this time and decay the slope to 0. All right. So with 0 we get a straight line. So let's not do 0 and make it 90 degree or 100, 250 for the y-axis and fill arc and OK. Now it doesn't fill the color because we don't have any fill color selected. So let's select red color in this and again draw the arc. I'll keep it 50 as of now and make it 200 and make it 50 pixels and click OK. So now you can see that we have our arc filled along with the draw. Now this will even work on manual drawing now because we have changed the settings last time. So every time you draw arc now, it will reflect all those changes into the newly created arcs. Alright, so let's see the spiral tool options now. So from here you can define the radius which says 439 pixels. So right now I'll just change it to 400 pixels and the decay is 80% and the segment is 10 and it is anti-clockwise. So let's just leave all these settings right now, just change the radius and press OK. So that we know how radius works. Okay. Again, let's create another spiral and make radius 200 pixels. Okay, so yeah, that's how radius works and this is the default spiral you get every time. But this time instead of changing the radius, we'll change the decay. So decay is 80% right now. Let's make it 100%. And you can see we have a perfect circle over here. So I think we have to take a value somewhere between 80 to 100. It should be 90. Okay. So yeah, you can see how this thing is working now. If you increase it further from 90 to 98, there you have your spiral. So it increased the decay, and you have your all the segments have come closer, and there is a lot of space in between. So that's how it modifies the spiral. So if you change it to opposite direction, let's say make it 10%, you can see the spiral has started from here and ended over here. To make it even more clear, let's make it 30 and see. Yeah, you can see how it works. Alright, so with decay clear, let's see the number of segments. So the number of segments should be, to see number of segments actually, we should have our decay to 98% or something and make our spiral 400 pixels. So we get a spiral like this. Now what number of segments will do is it will increase the number of segments inside the spiral. So right now we have some 1, 2, 3 I think. I'm still not sure. It says number of segments are 10. We can try changing it and make it 100 and see what all we get. Okay. So like I said, it increases the number of rotations of a spiral inside and it will keep rotating inside. Yeah, so that's how segment works. Okay, let's press Ctrl 0 and select these two spirals and delete. Now we have option keys for that also that can modify these settings just by pressing keys on your keyboard. So let's see how those keys works. So first option key is shift. So when you draw a spiral and press shift, you can see the end point or the last point of my spiral is snapped to a horizontal axis now, or it is at a 45-degree angle or at a vertical axis. Otherwise, when I release shift key, I can just go and rotate the spiral. But when I hold shift key, I can it only snaps to a horizontal 45-degree or a vertical axis. Alright, so let's press shift and release it at a vertical axis. release your mouse first and then release the shift key. Okay, so with shift key clear, let's see the next option key, which is control. So draw the spiral, and while drawing, just press control key and move your mouse to see what all changes it brings. So it is clear that control actually it controls the decay of your spiral. So when you move your mouse outwards, it decreases the value of the decay, and when you move your mouse inwards, it increases the value of the decay. You can release it to this point, and alright, we have gone into negative values, so let's draw it again. Now since we have went into negative values, we are getting this kind of problem. So what we can do is double click on this, double click on canvas and make decay to 80% and segments to 30 and click OK to reset our spiral. Delete this spiral and you can again draw and hold control to change the decay value. Alright, so let's double click now and see the decay value is 98.83%. Okay, so we have learned shift key for snapping the spiral to one of the axes and control key to control the decay. Now the other key we have is up and down arrow keys, which actually increases and decreases the number of segments. So when you press up arrow key, you can increase number of segments for the spiral. When you press down arrow key, you can decrease number of segments. Alright, so that's very clear. So now you can use the combination of all those keys together in a single spiral. So increase number of or decrease number of segments, and then press Control to reduce the decay. Alright, this looks good. And then Shift key to snap it to a 45-degree angle and release it. So release your mouse first and then the Shift key. And there you have your modified spiral using the control keys. Now Alt key doesn't work in this because if you notice when you draw a spiral, it's already expanding from all the sides. So like the center is already at a point from where I started drawing. So even if you press Alt, it won't work at all. So let's see our next tool, which is rectangle tool. Now we have already covered rectangle tool, but still I'm going to draw one or two shapes and cover options for rounded rectangle and ellipse tool also. So for rectangle, if you hold Shift key, you will get a perfect square. Okay. Otherwise, you can release Shift key and you can make any kind of rectangle you want. And while drawing the rectangle, you can see our first point is fixed and we are moving the second point. When you press Alt key, it shifts your center to the first point, and now your rectangle is expanding from all the sides. Now I can either release the Shift key and just keep pressing the Alt key to make a rectangle like this and release my mouse and release the Alt key. So these are the all option keys for rectangle, and I'm going to select and delete all of them. Again, you can double click on your artboard or canvas to get all these options. Here you can change the width and the height, or even you can link both of them to change them together. So let's say 200, and you can see both values are changing automatically. And when you press OK, so it makes a perfect square, 200 pixels. So delete this rectangle, and now let's see rounded rectangle. To create a rounded rectangle, what you can do is left click on your canvas and drag your mouse to create a rounded rectangle. Again, when you hold Shift key while drawing, then it will make a perfect square with rounded corners. And release your mouse first and release Shift key. Otherwise, you can just click and drag and make any kind of rectangle you want. Alright. So like in rectangle tool, when you press Alt key with rounded rectangle, it shifts the center of a rounded rectangle, and now you can scale or increase the size of a rectangle or decrease the size from all the sides. Okay, so that looks good, and release the mouse and release Alt key to create your shape. Now we have two extra option keys with rounded rectangle, that is up arrow key and down arrow key. Alright, so like in spiral tool, when you use up arrow key, it increases number of segments, and with down arrow key, it decreases number of segments. So in this, when you press up arrow key, it will increase the corner radius value. When you press down arrow key, it will decrease the corner radius value. Alright, so that looks good. And let's say this corner radius looks fine, and press shift key to make a perfect square, or actually just make a rectangle like this and release your mouse click. Alright, so we have covered rounded rectangle also. Again, you can select the tool, double click on your canvas to get these options. You can link both of them together so that the aspect ratio is locked and both values changes accordingly. And you can decide corner pixel, corner radius value also. From 13 pixel, you can change it to 20 pixels and press OK to have a rounded rectangle like this. Okay. Now it looks like a capsule because the corner radius value is too much according to the compared to the size of the rectangle. So for a 20 pixel corner radius, if you want to see a rounded rectangle, then it should be at least this much so that you see all the sides. Otherwise, all you are going to get is a kind of capsule like this. Alright, so it totally depends on to you what kind of design you want to create. So I'm gonna move ahead to ellipse tool. The shortcut key for ellipse tool is L. So either you can press L on your keyboard or you can just select it from your toolbar. Alright, so to draw the ellipse, what you can do is drag your mouse on your canvas to draw the ellipse. Again, like rectangle tool, you can press your shift key to create a perfect circle, and along with it you can hold Alt key to shift the center so that your circle expands from all the sides. Release the shift key to make it an ellipse instead of a circle, and when you feel like this design is okay or this ellipse is okay, so release your mouse click and then release the Alt key, and you can use your selection tool and move this around and place it properly. Those are all the function keys available with ellipse tool. Now the next tool we are going to see is an interesting one actually, that is polygon tool. So select polygon tool first and click and drag on your canvas to create a polygon. As soon as you start creating a polygon, you will notice that it's already expanding from all the sides. So one thing is sure, that Alt key will not be option key for this. Even if you press Alt key, it won't change a thing. Okay, so what other option keys do we have with polygon tool? So before looking into let's double click on the artboard and see what all options do we get in an option window. So there are two kind of option we get. First is radius and second is total number of sides. So we can change radius from 2 pixels. Actually 2 pixels is really small. So we can change it to 200 pixels. That will be big enough to see. And number of sides, now it is 6. That means a hexagon. When we change it to 5, that makes it a pentagon. So let's make it a 5 and click OK. So we have pentagon this time instead of a hexagon. And we have extra polygon over here. Let's zoom in and see. Alright. Yeah, we have extra polygon. Press Ctrl 0, select this and delete. So yeah, there are two kind of options we get in option window. Now let's see what all option keys do we have with polygon tool. First of all, like always, we have shift key, which will snap our polygon to a certain axis. Now this one is limited. Now I cannot rotate it. So as soon as I release my shift key, I can rotate the polygon. When I press shift key, it snaps to a particular angle, and after that I am not able to move it at all. I can only scale it, but I won't be able to rotate it. Okay, so release your mouse and shift key to snap it to a certain angle. The other option key we get is up and down arrow keys. So by this time you would have guessed it, the up arrow key is going to increase number of sides of a polygon and the down arrow keys would decrease number of sides. So when I press up arrow key, it makes it a hexagon, and when I keep pressing it, it will increase number of sides. So if we increase number of sides too much, we will get a circle. When we decrease number of sides too much, we'll get a triangle. So triangle is a minimum. You cannot go beneath that because if you decrease number of sides to 2, then it's just a line. So it's not a polygon anymore. So minimum number of sides you can have in a polygon tool is 3. That is, you can have a triangle, and maximum is infinite. Alright, so yeah, like this one is fine. Now we can actually go ahead and create a separate example for polygon tool itself, and we will see that just by using one single tool, how can we create a good looking design. So let's begin. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to draw a rectangle for this canvas, or actually I'm going to create a new file which is having a square artboard. Alright, so first of all, create a rectangle, and what you can do now is select the polygon tool, and from the center of this start creating a polygon, and actually increase number of sides to this much so that it matches your horizontal and vertical axis. By that, what I mean is you have a flat end at all the sides, at the top, bottom, left, and right. So you have this flat end. It again depends on to you. It's my personal preference to have something like that. Now, what all you can do is keep drawing polygon one after another from the center, and every time you draw a polygon, just decrease number of sides to 1. Have a certain distance between all of them, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fast it forward so that you don't have to wait till I finish this design. Okay, so now we have completed all our designs or all our polygons. What we can do now is select all of them and start filling color into them. Now the color scheme we are using for this is monochromatic, so we'll be using one single color and different with at a different brightness level. So let us go ahead with which color should we select? Blue, I think blue should be fine. All right, press OK. All right, but now we have our design. So what we are going to do is change the color or change the brightness level of this one. So we can select the brightness palette or actually the saturation one, and keep adding white in every polygon. So over here you can see the changes in your previous color to the new color. So when you feel like there's enough amount of difference between these two colors, you can press OK. So like right now there isn't much. So what you can do actually is select all of them, deselect this outer two polygons and deselect this third one, and now drop a color value a bit to this one. Okay, so and add a little bit of white in the color and press OK. Alright, so now shift select the last polygon or the outmost polygon, and again drop a color value bit from this one to this. Again shift select the last polygon or the outermost polygon and double click and drop color value from this to this. You can either change color values from here also. So what we are going to do is, right now we'll change color from this. Again, these all palettes we will cover in future. So right now, if you don't understand, you can just avoid them. So shift select the outermost polygon and drop color value a bit. Again, shift select the outermost and again. So keep repeating this process for every polygon until you reach the center one. And here I have reached the white color. So now you can see we have a very pleasing design over here. You can press Ctrl A to select all of them and hide the outlines or have no fill in the outlines, and when you left click you can see we get something like this. Or actually you can have a very dull or light outline. Let's say I go to HSB and make a very light blue kind of outline. So you have something like this. So again, you can experiment with colors and your shapes, and you can actually create a variety of things now after learning all this stuff or all the shape tools. So that's a short demo of what all we can do just by using one single tool, that is polygon tool. So now let's see what the last tool we have to learn today. So the last tool remaining is the star tool actually. So again, the drawing principles or drawing rules are simple. You have to left click and drag your mouse to draw a star. Again, it is expanding from the center. So we don't need Alt key to change this reference point. Alt key actually does a separate, actually has a separate functionality in this tool. Okay, so to see the tool options, let's double click on the canvas and see what all options do we have. So we have radius 1 and radius 2 and total number of points. Now what is this radius 2 here? So when you draw a star, the outer one is called radius 1 and this inner points are called radius 2. Alright, so that says we can change our settings from here. So now if you make outer radius like 200 pixels and inner radius only 20 pixels, so you will get a very thin star and number of points are fine. Okay, so something like this. When your outer radius and inner radius are very close to each other, let's say it is 200 pixels and 180 pixels. So you get a very, just a minute. So you get a very fat star. Actually, it's kind of a polygon. So what we can do is instead of 180, we can make it 150. And okay, so you get the star like this. And again, the third option we have is number of sides. So number of sides we can increase it to 6 or 7. So that's how it changes our star. Alright, so the same settings we can change using option keys. So let's see how option keys work in star tool. First of all, we have this shift key to snap it to a certain angle. And the second option key we have here is control key. Now, like in spiral tool, the control key actually controls the decay. Here it is going to control the outer radius or radius 1 actually. So when I press control key, you can see that the inner points are stuck at a point and now only the outer points of the star are moving. So like when I press control key, these points are stuck. Brush tool. Okay, these points are stuck or these points don't move at all after I press control key. Only this point moves. So let's draw it again and see whether it really happens like that. So now I'm drawing the star. I haven't pressed any key, but when I press control key now, you can see the inner radius or the inner points are stuck. And now I'm only moving the outer points. Okay, so that's fairly simple, and let's release it over here and release your control key. Select all of this and delete. So the next option key we have is the Alt key. So while drawing your star, when you press Alt key, you get this perfect star. So again, you can hold Shift to snap it to a certain angle, and when you feel like this star is okay or this star is fine, so you can release your left click and both the keys. Now Alt key actually will work only with five-sided stars. If you have more than five sides in your star, then Alt key will not work. So it will only work if you have five-sided stars or 5 point in your stars. So like these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So next we are going to see is up and down arrow key. So again, like in all other tools, up arrow key is going to increase number of sides or number of points of a star, and down arrow keys will decrease the number of points. All right. So like if you want to create a shuriken kind of thing, then you can have four sides of your star and you can increase the outer radius to this much and have a circle inside this. Press Alt to scale it from all the ends and Shift to create a perfect circle, and again the same thing. Alright, so you can actually have something like this. Now if you actually go ahead and fill some color into this, like fill a little bit of gray, and here in this circle you can fill white color, and this one a little light but still have a tint of gray. Okay, and finally you can remove the outlines to have a shuriken kind of thing created just by using a star and ellipse tool. So yeah, like possibilities are infinite with this kind of tools. So all you need to do is experiment with these tools and see what all you can create. Okay, so let's come back to the option keys we have with star tool. So we were saying like up arrow keys increase number of sides or number of points for the star, and down arrow keys decrease. So again, you can increase number of sides too much and press Control key while drawing and increase outer radius to a really good extent, and now it will give you a very bright star, or like some light is shining from the background. You can again put a very dark color behind it and make it very light to make it look like a real light. So yeah, you can free to experiment with all these things and just see what all you can draw using all these tools. So with this, we are going to end this video. I hope you understand all the tools, and now I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.